Well, hello, Bob Dendry here, and welcome back to Transport Fever 2, The Long Game. So, last episode, we got Amtrak set up. We set up that wonderful Dayton Outer Suburban Loop, which I think is performing really well, and I think just looks really cool and looks really good. And today, we're going to fall back onto an old problem, and it's right here. What do you do about a problem like Laredo? So, we have issues here. No other way about it. Interesting that our stone train is also hauling grain. I did not realize that would be happening, but oh well. So we're wanting to sort of head down this line here, and we can see that, yeah, we've got a fair amount of hold-ups happening here. We've got a lot of trains that are waiting to come through here. That is sort of causing backups really to happen across the network. And it's all about, realistically, this junction here, and to a lesser extent, Laredo station itself. And the question to ask is, what are we going to do about this? We are fairly tight for space in Laredo itself. It will be quite difficult to get a second pair of tracks in there, though we might potentially just be able to sneak it in. But it's realistically the bulk of the issue is right here. We do probably need to quadruplicate at least some of this, and we can use that to sort of grade separate some of this sort of situation here. So I'm going to start doing some building. I'm not going to do it all at once. We're probably going to try and tier out or tranche out what we're doing here, and try and keep everything running during that time as well, because I am a fan of building without pause on. I think it's interesting. I think it challenges you a lot more than it otherwise would. And it's really all going to start at this bridge. We're going to need to widen this bridge because we are going to be wanting to put in 4 tracks, or wanting to put in 4 tracks here, I should say, to use the correct English. So what we'll do, this is the one time I'm going to pause, and it's because we do upset everyone. I do note as well we've got some some of these going through the floor as well. So I might take the opportunity to upgrade this to high speed as well, and then that will also tell us where we need to put our I guess our bridge, so we don't have pylons going all the way through it. So I'll upgrade that, and I'm going to put down a little tiny bit of extra track here as well. And that's just so we know how much space we have to run with as well. And like so. Okay, cool. So what we're going to do, we're going to slightly realign this so we're not making contact with those overheads. I think we've fairly recently built this bridge. Certainly, probably in the last 20 years or so. I don't know exactly when though. But hey, is what it is. We're going to build a little higher than that. Okay. I'll try and flatten that if we can. We're not making contact with anything, which is good. And probably build a different type of bridge as well. Maybe one of these. I just want to see if we can get an additional pillar there. But potentially no, it only wants to build one. Which, if it's doing that, we may as well not use pillars at all, because I think it looks a little bit odd with a single pillar there. Okay. We will connect up there. I'm actually going to realign this a little bit more, I think, make it more of a straight connection. Straight through like that. And might reroute this a little bit more as well. Okay, so we're unpausing now. That little break is fixed. And now we will get to work on making everything else happen. Now, this left set of tracks will be our freight tracks, I think. And we've still got a little bit of work here to make this happen, because we probably want to have a pair of tracks go under our passenger line here. But we also want them to continue on in this direction as well. So it's going to be interesting trying to make everything work, everything go properly. But I'm confident we can get it to happen. I have confidence. Potentially we'll go back a little bit further though. Maybe not quite that far back for reasons. Definitely need to about here or so, I think. So we're going to try and go down to tunnel. Not quite. Doesn't look like we're quite able to tunnel as of yet. But I wonder... Okay, so we can tunnel if we take it out to about here or so. That's taking it quite wide compared to how our original sort of line worked. So I'm not sure how that is going to work, but let's give it a go. Let's see what happens. And I'm hoping we can have this line here go down as well and fit under. Oh, which looks like it's not going to fit. We're maybe a little bit too close to the existing running lines. Other thing we could do is make this a bridge, which we've already sort of done in a couple of different places where we've got like flyovers, things like that. No, that's not a bridge, that's a tunnel. Good job, team. And see if it will work if we do that. Problem here is that we do actually need to delete the line to build the bridge. Unfortunate. Because things do or will break a little bit here, but I think we should be able to make the changes quickly enough that it doesn't really sort of become a factor. So let's pause. We will pause. I know I said I wasn't going to pause, but it's going to need to happen. We need to fix all of this up. Potentially go up a little bit as well. We'll push this back a tiny bit. Okay. So what we'll do... I literally do most of this by the seat of my pants, if you can't tell. I'm literally just making it up as I go. We will have this pushed down. Not going down a hell of a lot, but it apparently is going down. And we'll have that loop around. To about here is where our lowest point will be. And then from there we need to start heading back up, hard and fast. Question is, can we get up to here? Like nowhere near. As you can see, we're going up as hard as we can and we're not getting close. That is a problem. The other thing we could do is we could have this line go down and this one go up. Also, potentially something we could look at. I think that might be easier if I'm thinking about it. But let's game it out a little bit, I guess, and see how it turns out if we're doing it like that. We have you going down. That's already going down. Like just by default issue if we're doing that. But it is down. It is lower. It could potentially still work. So let's see. We'll build a second line there as well. And if we're doing that, can we put something over the top here? Just thinking. So if we have this going across here, potentially going up. Okay, it does go up high enough. Probably not there. So if we are sitting here and we're going up like yay high, that's high enough. Can we make a connection like so? Not quite, but I'm pretty close, to be honest. We might even be able to just push this back and connect like that. No, we are close. Or it could just be because we need to make the connection from the other direction rather than how we had it set up. So let's see, will you connect? No, but you're going to get pretty close to it. Like, how is that not connecting? That should connect, right? I don't see why it wouldn't be. Let's see if we can just punch it over the top then. Because it seems to be the right height. But what am I doing? Okay, so that does go over. That's good. I'm getting construction not possible. Why? Only when we're going like that tight. So potentially that's a little bit too tight. Tighter connection potentially. Might be able to go a little bit broader. I think that's a little bit different than how we had it before. What about now? Oh, hang on. No, it's still saying construction not possible. Strange. Okay, works there. All right. Too much slope, but probably not too bad. Try pushing it back a little bit further. Okay, it does connect, but I neglected to make that a grounded connection rather than the bridge, because that's what we're after. Okay, one connection there. How are we going there? Pretty good. Pretty good. Just need to push it back a little bit further, I think. Still saying too much slope, but I think we are probably fine. Though we probably want to... I'm going to build it anyway, why not? I reckon it's okay. Okay, that connection is remade. We will upgrade it as well. Next, what we'll do, we will have our freight connection going across to our main line over here as well. Now, I don't think this will work, but I'm just going to give it a go and see if it will connect if we just do a connection like that. It doesn't. That was probably as expected. I didn't really think it would work like that, so we will break it off a little bit earlier here. And once our autosave finishes, we will make a connection here. Now wanting to probably punch down a little bit as well. And we don't want this to be bridged. And I'm hoping we can then just hook in here, which we can. And maybe hook in here or so. That allows the transition or the speed to be a little bit greater as well, a little bit faster. Those are not connected at all. I don't know how that happened. Now we've got too much slope. It's probably because of the too much slope that happened, but it's all right. We can get back in there. All right. Now, the cool thing here is that we don't actually need to connect this to the main line at all. It can completely bypass it because none of these trains will be going anywhere else but through this freight pair of tracks. So we are going to literally just punch this through like so, or like something like this anyway. I'm hoping we can make this reasonably high speed. Doesn't need to be massively fast, but definitely not like a 40k an hour one. I think that one's pretty good. Pretty happy with that. So we've got another connection there. Now we just need to connect everything else up to freight, really. Actually, we've forgotten a major connection here, being this one. So let's see if we're able to hook that in there. And we can fairly easily, it looks like. Or it looked like it was going to be fairly easy until we got to no construction being possible. Try it again, shall we? Like so. Okay. Yep, ended up being okay. And then I'm hoping got a collision. I don't see what the collision is, so I'm just going to build it. Or is it that little, what is that? A little bit of track there. Is that what the collision was? I would say so. Cool. So that's fixed up. And it should work now. At least this freight bit should be working again. But we do, of course, need to set up a way for our freight trains to get onto that other set of tracks. So we're going to do a temporary connection here, and we're going to do that so we can start playing again. Possibly. Or we would if construction was possible. And I think that fixes everything. So we'll need to signal this, of course. But other than that, yeah, we're good to go. These also need to be one way as well. So great job, me. This should work now. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't. And it might even be a little bit faster as well. So this will partially fix this issue, to be honest. It's gonna... Yeah, I mean, this should significantly speed up all of this. So this is all up a pretty good decision we've made to do this. But it's probably still not going to quite be fast enough. And I think we potentially could fit another pair of tracks in here. I'm going to try. We can. That is helpful for us. So I'm going to just get that in to start with. And then we can, I guess, make some decisions on whether or not we continue the quad all the way down to our bridge down here. Because the issue is going to be that obviously we're on a bit of an angle here, we can see. So we will need to slightly realign these tracks to twist around a little bit and go more sort of through this center of this right of way we really have set up here. Because let's see, how far can we send a pair of tracks? I mean, we might even be able to just get the pair all the way through. No, we're pretty much like straight away having issues. So yes, we are going to pause again. I know, I said I wasn't going to do it. But basically what we're wanting to do here is curve these tracks so they run more sort of down and end up maybe on the left side of this pair. That actually might work out pretty well if we can do that. The issue being that we really can't connect this at all. We could potentially get rid of some roads. In fact, we might as well. This is going to make the city very uncomfortable. It makes me a little bit upset as well that we're literally just getting rid of half the city. But this should make things a little bit just all around better if we can get this done right. So we may need to fix them things. We might need to build some alternative entry points to get across. And that's okay. The cities do this. They close off level crossings, things like that. It is a safety thing. And it looks like we're probably going to end up having to make that decision. We might maybe see if we can get one more back in, maybe this one here. I'm doubtful it will reconnect though. So yeah, the construction is just not going to be possible. We can get it across part of the way. Our problem being that our tracks are a little bit higher than our road. Instead, what we'll do, we'll extend this a little bit further. We should be able to make a connection here. This is not ideal that, you know, there's a single connection point, but we should be able to make some additional connections. So they're not going to be in the same place that they originally were in. So I'm confident we can just build a level crossing here. That's perfect and fine. It's a nice level one as well. And I think we might be able to get a tunnel, potentially, or a bridge over, like here. Though we're not going in the right direction. Now we are. If we go up to, say, maybe here or so. And got some issues. Things aren't wanting to build. Okay, they're building now. Got bridge collision issues, which we can fix. And question is, can we connect here? We've got too much slope. So we might see if we can pull that a little bit further back, potentially. What about now? Still saying too much slope, but I'm going to allow it in this instance. And then we can just punch it back down pretty much just as fast as we can. We're going to lose another building as well. That is unfortunate. And then we're going to remove some more buildings, of course. We've got another connection. We got two there, and I think we probably do want to have an additional one over this side as well. And I am truly terribly sorry that we have removed literally half the city, but it's for progress. And remember, progress is good. Progress at any cost is good, right? Yeah, why not? So there we go. So we've done a little bit of mucking up. We have replaced some stuff. We still need to feed in 2 pairs of tracks under here, which we might have sold ourselves a little bit up shit creek. But we'll see what we can do. Can we get 4 in there? 2 pairs? I reckon we can. If we're good people. Yes, we can. It's not the most attractive connection. In fact, it's actually terrible, and we definitely need to reroute that. Okay, but it worked out in the end anyway. We did make the connection. And we have our freight tracks running as well. Cool. We have freed up a bit of room for development as well. We could potentially get some buildings in, in this area here. I don't know if the town will want to do that, but I guess we might have given them some cash or something to potentially support development there or something like that. Who really knows? But we do want to connect up here as well. That's 1 fork done. I'm just going to play for a tiny bit just to allow this connection to be made. Okay, that should be done there. And now we've just got the other side here that we need to make work. So as I've mentioned, we are going to quadruplicate this bridge here. No, I actually do want to rebuild it as well because we want to get rid of this old stone bridge. Make it a... I don't know, concrete bridge, something like that, a viaduct. So for whatever reason, the bridge span is slightly different. Whatever, it's fine. Now, some interesting things we need to do. So this right pair of tracks is our freight tracks, and the left will be passenger. Question is, where do we end that connection? I don't think we're going to have any passenger coming on this sort of pair here, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just confirm. No, we've only got 1, which is potentially 1. I feel like we have more than that. No, actually, we've just got bricks, I think. So that's probably a logical place for the duplication, or the quadruplication, I should say, to finish. So cool, that's nice and easy. We'll back this off, as we will have the passenger tracks punching through here. If we can get them to connect once again, things are being a bit weird. All right, now that we've got that almost all connected up, I'll just come back here and I'm just looking at this small kink here. It's probably not, it's not really impacting anything too much. So I think it's probably okay. I just wanted to check that. So what we're going to do, we will sever this connection here. Because we will be having it connecting up like that. Just want to make sure, no, they are a little bit close together there. So we might have it paralleling just a little bit further out to about here or so. Then I think from there it should be good. I do want to allow a crossing connection. I don't think it will often or ever be used. Actually, no, because we're going to have plenty of freight that is heading in this direction, I think. So it is probably important for our freight to be able to head across like so when our autosave finishes. Like so. Yep. And is that it? Is that done? We've got probably a few people complaining. Laredo Stone can't connect all stations at this time. Oh, actually, no. I know exactly the problem. It's because we literally didn't connect it. So just ignore me. That's fine. That should fix now. Yes. And we have a train with no electric path. Where are you and where are you going? That literally doesn't tell me anything. Can we try this again? Oh, hang on. It's because we need to go to that one. No electric path for you. Why? Where are you wanting to head? You should have a path. Let's go to our electrification tool. Oh. Possibly because of that. Okay, cool, it was because of that. So, we can unpause now. This is all very exciting. Cool, so things appear to be quite seriously clearing up on these sort of sections of track here. Of course, we do have some freight that's sitting waiting for things to move and things to clear up. But overall, it looks like we're definitely reducing the amount of sort of static traffic that's just sitting clogging up this line. So really happy with what we've done here. And I think that should really increase the amount of throughput we can get through here very easily. Now, I've just popped over here to Salem, which looks lovely. If we look at the population, it's getting up there towards 2,000. And the town's grown quite significantly since we last sort of, I guess, did a check of how our public transport was covering the town. And it's not covering it well, especially on the south side, especially on the bottom from our point of view here, and also this top left as well. So we're going to get probably 2 new bus lines in. One that will go from our Salem station and just cover off these sort of areas down here. And then one that will probably have starting from Lower Salem, and it will cover off our industrial area and things like that. So first of all, let's get some bus stops in. So we're probably going to do a bit of a circular type route. It's going to go a little bit all around the place. But I think we should still cover everything off if we do sort of a point-to-point type route like this. And I think we should be good like that. So I'll get a new line set up now. That should be good. This will be Salem number 2. And for number 3, it will start over here. And basically, we're just going to try and get our best sort of bang for our buck for coverage. I don't think this sort of section here has a heap of coverage, but I think it should be okay. And yeah, that should be pretty good, I think. So we'll get some new buses purchased. Get 10 of these man buses and 5 on each line. We will also replace the buses on our existing line as well. Didn't mean to do that. So let's try that again. Cool. All right, so we've got a few more buses in and around the place, and hopefully we should start to see some passengers waiting at some of those stops and get, I guess, these people moving around a little bit more. Though we already have top 2,000, so yeah, this is massive city. A lovely little CBD area here as well. So yeah, I'm stoked with that. Popping over here to Dayton, if we have a look at our passenger numbers at our terminal, those look great as well, look absolutely fantastic. But once again, we're hitting an issue where we've got passengers on this side that aren't really covered. So we will, I think, get an additional probably tram line in. If we look at our tram lines over here, we pretty much cover everyone on this side. But yeah, over here, it's quite limited. We're missing out on this part here. So we're going to get a few stops in. And I think we will probably do a sort of start over here, hop down, head over the bridge and stop at Pine Street. So it's going to be a fairly, I guess, basic short line. We will need to add an additional bit of tram track here as well. We will convert this and we will get our connection up and running. We'll run an additional street here as well. Over to here. And that should allow us to then loop this around and pretty much do what we need to do. I think that should be a nice, easy line. Beautiful. We'll swap those platforms around. I think it makes more sense to run that way. This will be Dayton number 3. And yeah, let's get a few trams purchased to run on it. Nice Toronto CRLV, the brand new one. And let's see how we go running that. Now, I thought I'd just come over here to Salem and to just check how our new bus lines are going. As you can see, we've not got a heap of passengers waiting at these stops, but obviously the simple fact that they're available has been certainly a very appealing prospect to our residents. As you can see, we're up towards 2,200 now. With our population. I think before we put this in, we were just touching 2,000. So yeah, really good win getting this increased service in, and I'm really happy with it. Now, in our last episode, we spent some time on the Dayton Outer Suburban Loop in the counterclockwise direction. Today, I thought, why not jump back on that loop line, but in this instance, we'll hop on the clockwise direction, get I guess, a different perspective on things, and I hope you enjoy the ride along. And here we are arriving back in Dayton. So yeah, love this trip on this sort of loop line we've got running. Very high speeds. I think we're heading up to 170 kilometers an hour and stuff like that. So that's really good to see. Shows us that this is obviously the right decision to build this line. We're seeing heaps of patronage as well. So very, very good. Very happy with it. And I hope you enjoyed it. Well, that's about all we have time for in this episode. Now, as you can see, we've still got lots of trains just sitting here not doing a lot. So basically what we've done, we've moved our bottleneck. So we have solved this Laredo bottleneck. I'm confident that that is now running as it should. But well, I say that I'm confident it's mostly running as it should. As you can see, we've still got a few freight trains that are running on our passenger tracks, and we can fix that with waypoints and stuff like that. So I'm not too worried about it. But if we pop over to near Santa Rosa, this is now where our sort of bottleneck is sitting, where we have these conflicting movements between passenger freight and reversing freight movements especially. So next episode we will continue to work on solving these pinch points in our network. I have some ideas in terms of how we will solve them, and I think it will pretty much clear everything up, but that's for Thursday. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you have, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell so you get a ding to your device the next time I post a video. You can find links to all my social media in the description, so please jump on there, like, follow, subscribe, do all that wonderful stuff. Big shout out to my Founders Club patrons, Caleb and Isaiah. Thank you so much to the two of you for helping to make this content possible. But until next time, I'm Bob Dendry. This is Transport Fever 2, The Long Game. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.